The whole truth and nothing but the truth. No speculation needed. The real history of what took place in the foundation of the Corporation of America. In this nation were great marvels that were recognized around the world, and some even duplicated. Well before the 1900s, when they're telling you that things were constructed and destroyed, there were already massive structures here, like you see from current times, that you were told were being built during the time of slavery. But at the same time that people were supposed to be in whips and chains coming over on boats, you already had us here as Congress members. And while you're being lied to and said that women didn't have rights and couldn't vote, there were also women that represented us in the House of Government. Now, these are considered slaves due to the fact that they decided to work and exchange gold and silver for things that nature provides. So this is what real slavery looks like. Business suits. Okay. Our country was a marvelous place. Now they try to tell you that this was a world fair, but in fact, you can see that it was all around the nation. Because if that was in the middle of country in St. Louis, and this is in Florida, how small do you think they just constructed this to be destroyed in Florida? Abso-fucking-lutely not. So this is the problem, is you were given a story of people that lived in teepees and huts and that were savages. But the thing is that these were the typical people of the lands. These are extremely old depictions of America, not having to do with the time that this country was founded. Because savages don't wear suits and ties. Real savagery was taking place in Great Britain, where they felt like women had no value and were being captured and enslaved all throughout their nations. And due to this fact, they set out on a voyage. Washington and all of them came here, right? And they came here under the guise of working for the Royal Crown to set up the original colonies, but then decided that they wanted to be free of it because of the greatness that they found here in this nation and how diverse and how built the nation had become and how powerful it really was. Due to what was happening over in Great Britain and the redistribution of the children and the adults of the country being sold into slavery. Due to the fact that the crown had conquered the French, the Irish, and the Spanish. So due to the fact that things were so destructive where they came from and so beautiful where they came to, there was a request made to the Majesty of Morocco here on this land for them to back them up so that they could get out of the reach of that slavery. And a response was given, giving them the ability for them to operate business and set up trade on these lands in order for them to establish themselves. At which point there were discussions taking place in Congress back in the 1800s about the fact that the Pope, the one that had authority over Britain, over England, over Spain, over Portugal, over France, and many other places, was wanting to extend his reach further into the country. The thing is that it was decided at this time that they didn't want a part of it anymore. So you're given some blanketed history that hides these facts. Now the fact is that due to the fact that it was decided that they in fact did not want to turn this country back over to England and the British Crown and everything like that, you had what? The Pope's response to that was sending Spain, France, and Portugal over to this soil with other British soldiers, flooding the nation with a whole bunch of people attacking from all angles, bringing over all kinds of people to replace the original Moroccans and to flip the map, because the anger of the Pope was at the fact that the Moroccans and the original Indians were backing up his indentured servants like Washington and all of them by telling them, look, we got your back. We're going to help y'all stay free. Because they seen what was going on and did not believe that people should be in bondage the way that they were coming from Great Britain, because it was droves. Once they established the colonies, they noticed that there were droves of stolen children being shipped here from across seas and distributed throughout the nation, because Great Britain believed in, see, these are the people that mined the fields and, were sent here to pick the cotton. Now you can understand why it is that they were trying to get free from Great Britain in the first place, and the reach of the Pope and everything that was taking place at the time. Because it was an ongoing practice of children being put into slavery in that nation, and the way that they conducted things, because they didn't care, because a lot were prisoners of war, because the Pope had conquered Spain and had conquered France, and he was in charge of Great Britain as well, because King James had signed over his royal property, including the land of Great Britain and Ireland, over to the king to the Pope, due to him being in debt financially to him. Because the Barbary Wars had already begun due to finding out what type of cargo was being shipped. Now, history will tell you that what it was that they were trying to steal the cargo and hold it ransom to get money from the governments. But the fact was that they caught them transporting slaves on numerous occasions over and over again. So due to the fact that it was decided to stand on this land to end that, it was decided that the Moorish and all of their buildings had to be torn down and their history stolen and removed from this land.